Rush. We get over here just in time for me to drive Grand Slam Deal, and I'm going to arrive just in time, unless there's traffic, just in time to drive, oh, he'll know. It's been a long day. We had a lot of training this morning. I gave you guys an updated video this morning about who trained and how they trained. I was very, very pleased with everybody. You could tell there was a couple of horses that needed a few more training sessions before they're going to reach that level, that top level we want to see them at. And I don't mean the top level in the division. I have no idea what that will be. What I mean is their top level. You could tell that there were some horses that training mile today went a long way to them becoming the best version of themselves. So looking forward to that happening over the next 3 weeks. I was just talking to Jason and Amy via text saying these are the horses I want to bring over. We're going to have a full boat here Tuesday. It looks like we're going to have 15 two-year-olds qualifying here on Tuesday, and obviously now after this afternoon, Memento Mori will be qualifying also. Now, I'm gonna finish with Memento Mori because there's a lot to unpack with Memento Mori, a lot. So I'm gonna start with I'll start with the easiest one. Grand Slam Dio was an easy winner today. I got fined for a slow half. Like, how stupid is that? She probably couldn't lose, but I still found a way to cost myself money. So I didn't want to overexert her. She's back in 5 days, but it was a hot day. The track seemed really fast, and I thought to myself, geez, it'd be a good day to put a really good mark on her, but I don't want to get beat doing it. And 27-4, 59. I probably could have went 27-4, 58 apiece and been fine, and she probably would have trotted 55 in a bit. She was very good today, and this filly this is what happens when you take, not every time, but sometimes when you take a horse that was supposed to be a good horse and hadn't achieved that horse. You put the work in, get them hung up properly, find some classes that are beneficial to them. I would be very surprised if you don't see Grand Slam Dio start to come forward in a big way. Now, I'm certainly not advocating that she's going to be some sort of a stake filly in New Jersey or Kentucky, but I will say that I've been very pleased with the way she's been racing the last 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. And today was a culmination on another win, 5 days apart, 2 miles and 56 and one in the pouring rain and one in the scorching hot sun. So she was great. I'll bounce over Maury and I'll go to Melisandre, and I have to wonder if maybe the flip-flops and a little extra weight on Melisandre are taking away. I like the way that she followed Dave Palone, but you saw that she gapped at moments in the mile. And then when we come out of the last turn, it looked like I give Aaron a little bit of a bump. And it looked like she was going to shoot right through and be a closing second. Instead, she was kind of a ho-hum fifth. Yeah, of course, I like the filly. I like both those fillies, but it is a little disappointing when you put her in a position to finish off her mile well, and she just comes up a little soft, right? I would like to get back to a point where we could take those flip-flops off and race her just with a normal shoe on that track. I think I really wish I had raced her without hobbles on. I don't think the result would have been any different. In fact, she might have made a break when I had to check her coming out of the last turn, so that may have happened also. But her hobbles are on as loose as they can be right now, and she is trotting good. That filly will take a mark of 55 or 56 over the Meadows. I'm certain of it. But sometimes I think she's going to make this big leap forward, much like Grand Slam Dio did over her last 2 starts. But then again, she doesn't, right? She just didn't. She had an opportunity today to be a pretty strong second. Instead, she was a pretty flat-looking fifth. And I do believe it's in there. I just think we just have to continue to work and work and work. Listen, she's not going to be the horse we wanted her to be. I think everybody knows that, but she still has quite a bit of worth as a broodmare. So let's work to execute the best. Well, I guess an exit strategy seems a little final, right? But at least execute the best strategy we can, which would be get a good mark on her and then have her looking good as we approach Harrisburg. She's a likable horse, I will tell you that. She is a likable filly. Both those fillies have grown on me, and I like them both very, very much. Now, we'll talk about Maury, who also has grown on me. I like the horse a lot. Now, we train this horse down. He always interfered. Always has, even when he was a 2-year-old. He powered through it. We raced him. He powered through it. We never had to change his shoes all year, and I think that was a benefit. He went with them, he learned to go with them, and those were his shoes. But as we brought him back in and tried to square him away from hitting those jacks, and hitting those knees, it became a bit of a problem, right? Then we squared him away a little bit more, and there was a comfort level there. I could qualify him, no problem. I know I talked to Scotty the other day. He's going, put the hobbles on him. I don't understand why, of all people, you're not putting the hobbles on this horse, which was a fair statement. I just didn't feel he needed them. I'll tell you what, he needed them today, and it wasn't of any fault of his own. When we went to Plain Ridge, the track was deep, and I had asked Mrs. Flanders and her blacksmith to make some adjustments if they so felt for Vernon. He grabbed a boot and made a break at Vernon, but when I went to training the other day, he was absolutely terrible, hitting everywhere. I mean, not that he doesn't miss anywhere anyway, but he was interfering bad. Now, we attempted to put him back the way we had him, but didn't quite get there, and it was very obvious today. He was interfering everywhere. He's a tough little bugger, though. He pushed through out of the gate, was holding position. If I had got him to the outside in the last turn, I don't think he makes a break, and who knows, he might have won, but it wouldn't have changed. It would have changed my overall message to you, because he would have won, or been second or third, but it would not have changed, the reality of the outcome was he was interfering quite a bit. So I guess we will potentially put the hobbles back on him, qualify him Tuesday. As I said to Tim, we had some fiberglass on his feet. I'd take all of that off, shoe the horse the way we had him, get him down around 49 degrees, put the shims back on him, put his shoes back to the way they were behind. We left them a little bit today, and I just didn't like the way he was trotting at all. And today was a great track. But there is going to be a happy medium. I need to stress the importance of this, is that when you go to shoe a horse and work on a horse like Memento Mori, there is not going to be this watershed moment where you shoe him a certain way and you're like, oh my God, finally he's perfect. Well, it depends what your definition of perfect is. If perfect is he's comfortable, happy, and winning races, then yes, we can get him to perfect. But if perfect is not interfering, I don't think you're going to see Mori perfect, maybe ever. And that's very hard to digest, because there's a horse that set a world record, made 150,000 as a 2-year-old. You would think that you should be able to do that. You think that he should be able to do more. Well, I guess I would go back to my original argument when we talked about this weeks and weeks ago, would be if you take out that 151 and 4 mile of Memento Mori, he was a solid 154 trotter. He was his whole life. Still is. He's going to be a decent horse for us. My aim is to have him ready for Buffalo on the 25th of June, and he will have to qualify on Tuesday. So I'll come over here. Tim is going to change him back to the way I wanted him. And quite frankly, I'll know right away. If I warm him up and he's hitting everywhere and the track is nice, he'll go barefoot, just like he did when he went at 51 and 4. But it will be, I think that what happened was we were inching forward with Memento Mori. I was happy with his win in 57, 27 and 4 in the end of it, screaming on the end of it, never really mauled himself. Sure, he chewed at himself a little bit, but not bad. Come out with that good mile in 55, ear hood on, and favorite beat him, or second favorite maybe beat him, fair and square, and aged horse. And then we went to the Battle of Bunker Hill, and he just not quite, I will say this, he looks $1 million. He put on 30, 40 pounds. He looks good. So there was vast improvements in that regard. But we do have to get him back trotting good. So that's where we're at with Memento Mori. He will qualify on Tuesday. It is my intention to qualify him with hobbles on, even though that almost irks me a little bit, because I feel he doesn't need them, but he did today. So that's what's going on after the Meadows now. I know where we're at. We have 15 horses that will be qualifying. I don't have the list in front of me. 15 horses will be qualifying at the Meadows on Tuesday morning. 4 will be staying over there I believe after Perfect Thoughts qualifier, she'll either race if they fill a 2-year-old maiden race here, or she'll qualify again, and then she'll be off to New Jersey. Go Strong Hanover will be staying over here. Obviously, he's a 2-year-old Pennsylvania trotting colt. There'd be no reason for him to not stay over here. Now, slated to stay over here, only because I want to get them a race on a 5/8 with some speed, would be the 4 horses going to the next generation. Now, having said that, if they card a 2-year-old race in Scioto, then there's no need for them to stay over here, and they will come home, and we'll leave 2 additional different horses over here. So the reason I'm using this number of 2, we have 15 qualifying and 11 spots on trailers to come home. So 4 horses of some kind will be staying at the Meadows for the foreseeable future after Tuesday, and 11 will be coming back to Northfield Park. So now you're all up to date. I don't think there's anything else to report. Oh, there is. Woodmere Bullet trained in 2-4. I apologize. Somebody messaged me and said, Anthony, just so you know, and I already knew this, Jamie Smith had messaged me, but I forgot to pass it on to you, my partners. Woodmere Bullet school trained in 2-4. Jamie Smith said he was very good. And one other final note, because I've had a few calls from people regarding Save America. Anthony, why is he going down this early? So I did not do a very good job explaining and unpacking this to you, and I apologize for that. He's going down now because there's a number of added money events in the Maritimes, and they race for quite a bit of money. The Governor's Plate races for $50,000 this year. This would be the other end of the island, Summerside. Well, I guess it's not fair. Charlottetown's in the middle. Summerside is where the bridge, it's Borden, I guess, but in that area is where Summerside Raceway is. Their signature race is the Governor's Plate, and it goes for $50,000. To race in the Governor's Plate, you have to race twice in the Maritimes. It's fair. So we're going to race twice in the Maritimes. There's 2 other races. There's one in Truro, I believe. Used to be one in Woodstock. There's a number of races, and there's lots of racing for Save America. Now, when you factor in what he's going to race for between now and the end of August, the competition he's going to be in, and shipping up and down the roads, when you factor all that in, the money and the competition level, it's not aligned. The money is very, very similar. The competition level is not. Now, the Gold Cup and Saucer is going to be difficult. It's no cakewalk. None of them are going to be easy. But Save America is supposed to be a better horse than many of the horses going to those races. And I suspect he will like Prince Edward Island very, very much by the time he leaves. So that is the reason he's going there now. I didn't explain that very well the other day. As far as the money, from June the 1st to September the 1st, it is virtually the same. And it may actually be more. I'm just not sure with the exchange rate. Then you factor in the competition level. For him to race for $25,000, he has to race in the Open at Scioto. For him to race for $19,000, he has to race in the Open at Northfield. And the Open at either of those places would do very well in the Governor's Plate and in Charlottetown. And take nothing away from those horses. I don't mean any disrespect, but those are some tough horses racing there. The Open will go right in 48 in Scioto, and it'll go right in 50-51 all summer long in Northfield. And it has not been kind to him in Northfield Park. I have not been kind to him in Northfield Park. So that is why Save America is heading to the Maritimes. So now I think I've covered everything. Everything has been covered. I will talk to you all soon. We're off to Northfield Park. We got a couple of horses in here. We have Oak Hill No is in, as is I don't know who the late horse is. We have 2 horses in at Northfield tonight. 4th and 12th, I think. I'm going to run Ava home after the 4th and come back for the 12th. And that will be it for Wednesday. Good news is there's a chance we miss the rain tomorrow with Captain Incredible, which would be very incredible. It's supposed to rain all night, but I do not think it'll be another rainy Friday night in Washington, Pennsylvania, if the radar is correct. That does not make me happy at all. What does make me happy is Ollie has a baseball game in Ohio on Saturday afternoon, which I'll be attending. I have no races. I told Tim, Patrick DePrana drew the 8-hole. He draws poor, doesn't he? Somebody else can drive him. I think Jeremy can drive him. And then time of the season, all the best drivers in the world are here. I believe they're programmed to be here anyway on Saturday. I don't need to be here to drive her. I can watch all Ollie's game, take the kids and Amy out to lunch, you know, anytime we can be a family all at one time during the summer, it's an added bonus, and it is much harder than it sounds with the schedule we have. So, take care. I'll give you an update probably after the 4th. You'll have to wait until Thursday morning for the 12th, but hopefully it will be worth it.